Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are new here, if this is your first time coming across this channel, you are welcome. On this channel I talk faith, I talk relationships, and I talk lifestyle, all from a Christian perspective. So today's video is going to be quite a chilled video. I'm just going to be going through a few books that I have currently read in the past, or some that I'm currently reading when it comes to my Christian girl journey, when it comes to my single Christian woman journey, and just some of the books that have helped me along on that journey. So I hope that this video helped you, I hope it blesses you, and I hope that you will also maybe pick up one of these books that I mentioned today. And it will also be amazing to hear what books you are currently reading, whether that is in your single season or just as a Christian woman. So guys, let's get right into the first book on the list. So the first book that I'm going to be talking about today is a book from Francine Rivers, and it's called A Lineage of Grace. Sis, if you haven't heard about this book, then I don't know where you are, I don't know where you're living, I don't know what you're doing, because honestly this book is amazing. I read this book as part of a book club literally years ago, maybe 2015, 2016, but I still have it literally etched in my memory, the details of the book, and it's definitely one on my list to read again. But this book is about 5 women, so 5 women in the Bible who most people wouldn't really think about when it comes to being part of the lineage of Christ, or people that you wouldn't expect to be chosen by God. So just one example, there's a woman in this book and in the Bible that is a prostitute, or she was a prostitute. However, she was chosen by God and she was included as part of the lineage of Christ. So I really love this book because it just touches upon those 5 women who are named in Matthew as part of the lineage of Christ, and it just touches upon their journey. You know, it kind of adds some things to kind of bring the story alive of these women, but it just shows me that no matter our past, no matter where we've come from, no matter the mistakes that we've made in the past, we can still be chosen by God. We can still be used by God and literally, used for his purposes. So this is definitely a must read. If you haven't read it, ladies, then definitely do pick a copy up and do have a read of it. If you have read it before, I would love to hear in the comments what your thoughts were on this book. So the next book, I'm not going to talk too long on this one because I've actually spoken about this quite a lot in my previous videos that I've made on the Christian girl walk and the Christian girl journey. But this book is Disciplines of a Godly Woman, and it's by Barbara Hughes. And I just really love how this book pretty much goes into just the different disciplines that we need as godly women. So some examples of this are obviously the discipline of prayer, the discipline of worship, the discipline of church, and even the discipline of singleness or marriage, depending what season that you are in. So I really love this because even when she spoke about singleness, she kind of touched upon this from a different perspective than what we're used to. And she was talking about how when it comes to her granddaughters, rather than pressurizing them into that place of marriage, she really encourages them to fulfill their purpose, their destiny, even in their singleness. And even if they were to remain single forever, that's a hard one to swallow because if they were to stay single forever. So this is an amazing book, so many gems, so many tips. I don't know if I'll do a book review on it, but I might do something in terms of like the key takeaways, because I've literally just finished reading this book this past week. So that's another one for your list. If you want to become more disciplined as a godly woman and you want to just build upon those disciplines, then I would definitely say you need to pick up this book and get reading. So the next one on my list is actually a book from my very own pastor. So I'm definitely going to be shouting about this book on the rooftops because, you know, obviously it's an amazing book. So this book is called Becoming a Woman of Prayer, and it's by Bimbo Fola Alade, Pastor Bimbo Fola Alade. And this book, when it comes to your prayer life, you can't read this book and remain the same. You cannot read this book and remain the same. And I think I've just spoken about the book about disciplines, and I spoke about prayer being one of those disciplines that we need as godly women. And this book literally takes you through the different aspects of prayer, the different types of prayer. Did you guys know that there are so many different types of prayers, different postures of prayers? So she talks about, you know, prayer in terms of like the power of agreement when it comes to prayer in terms of intercession, warfare prayers, midnight prayers. So this is definitely another must grab, another must read if you want to grow in your prayer life. And I feel like sometimes when it comes to people who are on their single journey, because obviously I'm just speaking from the perspective of a single woman, I feel like a lot of Christian girls are kind of like, okay, yeah, when I get married, when I have children, then I'll up my prayer life, because obviously I'm going to need to up my prayer life then. But no, you need to up your prayer life even from now. So grab this book so that you can know the different types of prayer. You can know how to pray effectively. Another thing I'll just quickly add is that prayer is something that you have to actually learn. It's not just something that you do, but you learn as well. So this book will definitely teach you how to learn about prayer. Now, the next one on my list, my God. This one, where do I even start? So this book is by Kobe Campbell, and she is a therapist. She's a faith therapist. So she kind of like mixes faith and therapy together. So Jesus and therapy, which I absolutely love. And she wrote this book, which was released, I believe it was this year or last year. And basically it's called Why Am I Like This? This book will literally get you to that point of reflection, that point of just doing the inner work and actually asking yourself, why am I like this? And I think this is really important, especially, you know, from the perspective of a single person, single woman, because again, it's so important for us to take those times and seasons to just really dig deep and to allow God to just reveal those things that we need healing in. Maybe things that you've grown up with, things that you thought were normal, until you get to this point of your life where you're like, why am I like this? This book will help you to answer those questions. Why am I like this? Why is my life like this? Why do I do the things that I do? And it will really just help you to kind of just process and go on that journey to kind of just start that healing process, so that you can start changing those negative patterns. You can start changing those unhealthy patterns. So again, this is another must read. And Kobe Campbell also has a podcast as well. So I'll definitely encourage you to check out her podcast, which I will also put below. Another book. Oh, this book. My gosh, I've actually read this book like 3 times, maybe even 4 times, because this book is amazing. This book is written by a gentleman named Emmanuel Adeseko. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, so please forgive me. But yeah, this book is about identity, and I absolutely love this book. He goes through the story of like Lion King and kind of just goes on that journey of helping us to realize the importance of us knowing our identity. When we don't know our identity, then we miss out on so much, because we don't inherit the things that are actually ours. In fact, we don't even know what belongs to us. We don't know our inheritance. We don't know what we are an heir to. So this book really helped just to really understand my identity in Christ and really just understand the things that belong to me. It also goes through a part where it talks about healthy and unhealthy coping mechanisms. And I think that's also key. Like when you're going through a season where, you know, you're going through a period of healing and, you know, you're trying to just get through that period, it's important to understand the healthy coping mechanisms that you can walk in, rather than the unhealthy coping mechanisms such as workaholism. So this is definitely another must read. And at the back, there's some like affirmations, which I really love. In fact, I'm going to read those affirmations right now. It says, I am chosen by God. I am loved. I am forgiven. God is my Father. I am blessed. God is my healer. God will keep me in perfect peace. I find joy in God's mercy. God will guide me forever. My past does not define me. I am accepted by God. I am worthy of love and respect. Guys, how beautiful is that? I love this book. Like I said, I've read it so many times, and it's definitely one that I'm going to read again, probably before the end of the year by God's grace. The next book. So this book is called Every Woman's Battle: Discovering God's Plan for Sexual and Emotional Fulfillment, and it's by Shannon Etheridge. So this book is another amazing one. So I read this book years ago. I'll be very honest, I haven't read it recently. So in terms of the details of the book, it's definitely one that I think I need to read again. But I love this book because there's a book called Every Man's Battle, and what she kind of starts the book by saying is that it's not just a man's battle. When it comes to certain emotional struggles, sexual struggles, it's not just a man's battle, that women also struggle with these things. And this book really helps to just break down those different sexual struggles that people face, emotional struggles that you may face, and just really prepare your heart and just bring you to that place of, I guess, being able to be disciplined in these different areas. So I really think that this is another must read, especially even if you are married actually, but if you are a single Christian woman, I would definitely say that this is a book to read before even starting to date, even before getting into a relationship, so that you can know how to manage these areas well, steward your sexuality and your emotional health well. So yeah, that's this book. A workbook is also included, which is amazing. And yeah, I just think it's one of those ones that I think I probably need to read again, because I can't really remember the like full details. But this is another must read that I would definitely say make sure you grab. If you've read this before, if you've heard of this book, then yeah, do make sure that you comment below as well. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Okay, we're nearly there, guys. The next one that I want to talk about, again, this is from Pastor Bimbofola Alade, and this book is called Relate. My gosh, this book is so good, right? That it's not just a book. There's a workbook, but even apart from that, there's also a whole kind of like conference that goes into this. So we actually had a conference this year on this topic. So it's Relate, the unwritten rules of dating and relating. Now, I don't know about you guys, but very often I feel like we're not really taught how to actually date the right way, how to actually date or court as a Christian. And I know that not everyone believes in dating, etc., but let's put that aside for now, guys. I really believe that this book helps so much to just act as a guideline to really healthy dating, to be honest. I think so many people grow up and we're constantly told, don't do this, don't date this way, don't do this, don't do that, but we're not actually told how to do it. So this book actually tells you how you are able to do it, and it talks about like preparing yourself. So understanding that looking for the one, you need to first understand that you first must be the one. So many times people are looking for the right man, you know, the right partner, but they don't become the one themselves. They don't become one and whole in themselves. They don't actually work on themselves. So it kind of starts on that, which I really love, because yeah, we can't just jump to the man when you're not actually okay, right? So it just helps us to really work on ourselves and just become whole, which is what God wants. And then there's other things like it goes into knowing your value, and then like preparing to date, discovering your purpose, the importance of that, and then questions you should ask when you are dating. So this is a must read. Like if you are on that journey and you're a single Christian woman and you want to just understand how to date, how to court, how to prepare for the marriage that you know that God has ordained for you, then you need this book, because it will definitely help you and prepare you for that season. So definitely make sure that you grab a copy of this as well. And also if you guys want more maybe content in that area, because one of my most watched videos, guys, is on dating. You guys like dating, clearly. So yeah, if you guys want maybe like a book review of this, or just more details on how we can actually date in a healthy way, then do comment below and I can make sure that I get that video done. Okay, second to the last one. This is a book by an amazing woman. I would call her a sister actually, Esther Jacob, The Becoming Woman. And this is basically a book that Esther wrote on her journey to basically marriage. So she's married now, and she just talks about her courting season, and she really pours back into people who are kind of like approaching that season, or in that season that she was, of just, I guess, just believe in God for marriage, right? So there's so many gems in this book. She talks about so much in terms of, again, you know, working on yourself, knowing yourself, enjoying your own company before trying to bring somebody else into that. And she even talks about what the becoming gentleman looks like. So this is another must read, which I'm definitely going to put in the box below for you guys to go and purchase your copy and get reading. And the last but not the least, this is a book by Tony Evans. So this book is called Kingdom Marriage. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, I haven't actually read this one, but I would recommend it only because I already know that, you know, it's gonna be an amazing book. And, you know, maybe now that I've mentioned it, it's one of those things where there's the accountability and now I'm gonna have to read it. So yeah, generally it's about obviously understanding what kingdom marriage is, what kingdom marriage looks like. And we know that we've heard that term so much in this year, even last year, in terms of what God is doing when it comes to kingdom marriages, putting people together for the purposes of advancing his kingdom. So if you know that God has called you to a kingdom marriage, if you're a Christian woman, then that should be a yes for you. Then you need this book. You need to read this book and you need to understand what a kingdom marriage is and how you can prepare for that kingdom marriage that God has for you. So that's it for today, guys. I just thought that I'll just have a chilled video and just share with you guys some book recommendations for Christian women that I've kind of like read and heard of, and books that I've got. As always, I want to hear back from you guys. You know, I've spoken, I've shared, and I would love for you guys to share as well. So in the comment section, please do share some of the books that maybe you have read in your season of singleness or just as a Christian woman. And yeah, I would love to, I guess, pick up some of those books if I haven't read it already, or just hear how you have found those books. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. I hope this video has blessed you and just given you a few things to think about when it comes to your walk as a Christian woman. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and also do check out the playlist that I have when it comes to walking and growing as a single Christian woman. Thank you once again. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Peace out and God bless.